What if I told you that Barbara O'Neill discovered something that could save your muscles from literally disappearing as you age? And what if this discovery goes against everything the health industry has been pushing on you lately? Stay with me, because what you're about to learn will shock you. You've been told bone broth is the miracle cure for aging muscles. The influencers are obsessed with it. The supplement companies are cashing in on it. But Barbara O'Neill said something that will make you question everything you thought you knew about muscle preservation. But before I reveal her shocking discovery, you need to understand what's actually happening to your body right now, at this very moment. There's a silent thief stealing from you. It's called sarcopenia, and Barbara O'Neill warns that it's more dangerous than most people realize. This isn't just some fancy medical term, it's literally your muscles vanishing, fiber by fiber, year after year. Think about your strongest relative when you were a child. Now picture them struggling to open a jar, climb stairs, or even get out of a chair. That's sarcopenia in action, and according to Barbara O'Neill, it doesn't wait until you're 80 to strike. Here's what will terrify you. Barbara O'Neill discovered that sarcopenia can begin as early as your 30s, accelerating rapidly after 40. Every decade, you could lose 3 to 8% of your muscle mass if you don't take action now. But here's where the story gets interesting. While everyone else is pushing expensive bone broth and complicated supplements, Barbara O'Neill found something hiding in plain sight. Something so simple, so accessible, that the supplement industry hopes you never discover it. Your muscle tissue isn't just about looking good. Barbara O'Neill teaches that it's literally your body's engine. It burns calories while you sleep. It protects your bones from shattering. It keeps your metabolism alive and your mind sharp. When sarcopenia strikes, Barbara O'Neill warns, everything collapses: your energy, your independence, even your brain function. That's why muscle loss is linked to falls, fractures, diabetes, and dementia. But what if you could stop this process completely? What if you could even reverse it? Stay tuned, because Barbara O'Neill's discovery will change how you think about aging forever. Here's what Barbara O'Neill discovered that the health industry doesn't want you to know. While everyone's obsessing over bone broth, Barbara O'Neill said the real muscle-building powerhouse has been sitting in your refrigerator all along. And when you hear what it is, you might not believe it at first. It's eggs. Simple, humble eggs. Now, before you click away thinking this is too simple to be true, let me tell you why Barbara O'Neill calls eggs nature's perfect muscle medicine. Barbara O'Neill discovered that bone broth, despite all the hype, is mostly just collagen. And here's the shocking truth she revealed. Collagen cannot build muscle tissue. It lacks the essential amino acids your muscles desperately need for growth and repair. But eggs? According to Barbara O'Neill, eggs contain all 9 essential amino acids in the exact ratio your body requires to build muscle efficiently. She calls this the perfect protein blueprint. Here's where Barbara O'Neill's research gets even more fascinating. Barbara O'Neill found that the protein in eggs isn't just complete, it's what scientists call highly bioavailable. This means your body can absorb and use egg protein better than almost any other food on the planet. In fact, Barbara O'Neill discovered that scientists actually use eggs as the gold standard to measure protein quality in other foods. When you eat an egg, according to Barbara O'Neill, you're getting muscle-building power in its most usable form. But wait, what about cholesterol? Haven't we been told to fear egg yolks? Barbara O'Neill said this is one of the biggest lies in nutrition. Modern research proves that eating whole eggs doesn't raise heart disease risk the way we were told. Barbara O'Neill emphasizes that the yolk is where the real magic happens: vitamin D, choline, omega-3s, and powerful antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin. According to Barbara O'Neill, when you throw away the yolk, you're literally throwing away half the nutrition. Here's what makes Barbara O'Neill's egg discovery even more revolutionary. As we age, our muscles become resistant to protein. It's called anabolic resistance. Barbara O'Neill discovered that you can overcome this resistance with one specific amino acid, leucine. And guess what's loaded with leucine? Eggs. Barbara O'Neill found that just 2 eggs at breakfast provide enough leucine to trigger muscle protein synthesis, especially when combined with resistance exercise. But there's something else Barbara O'Neill discovered about eggs that will blow your mind. Stay with me, because this next revelation could be the difference between thriving in your later years or slowly declining. Barbara O'Neill said something that will make you never look at bone broth the same way again. While everyone's sipping their expensive bone broth, Barbara O'Neill observed, they're getting comfort but barely nudging their muscle-building machinery. Let me paint you the picture Barbara O'Neill wants you to see. Imagine two people in their 50s. One follows the trendy advice, drinking bone broth daily, doing cardio workouts, avoiding eggs because of outdated cholesterol fears. The other person follows Barbara O'Neill's protocol, making eggs a daily staple, focusing on resistance training, embracing the complete nutrition eggs provide. According to Barbara O'Neill, fast forward 10 years, and the difference is shocking. The bone broth devotee is struggling with weakness, maybe using a cane, feeling constantly tired, dealing with aches and pains that seem to multiply each year. But the person following Barbara O'Neill's egg protocol? Still walking strong, carrying groceries effortlessly, traveling the world, playing with grandchildren, maybe even outperforming people half their age at the gym. Barbara O'Neill discovered that this isn't coincidence, it's biology. Here's the crucial difference Barbara O'Neill identified: bone broth provides structural proteins that might help your joints feel better temporarily. But eggs provide the raw materials your body needs to actually build new muscle tissue. According to Barbara O'Neill, it's like comparing a Band-Aid to surgery. One might make you feel better for a moment, but only one actually fixes the problem. Barbara O'Neill emphasizes that eggs are also incredibly practical. Unlike bone broth that takes hours to prepare and costs a fortune in stores, eggs are affordable, quick to cook, and versatile. You can boil them, scramble them, poach them, make omelets, Barbara O'Neill points out. They're accessible to almost everyone. But here's what Barbara O'Neill discovered that makes eggs even more powerful than anyone realized. The secret isn't just in the protein. There's another component in eggs that directly fights sarcopenia, and it's something most people are desperately deficient in. Don't go anywhere, because this next discovery by Barbara O'Neill will completely change your approach to staying strong as you age. Here's the breakthrough that made Barbara O'Neill realize eggs are nature's anti-aging weapon. Barbara O'Neill discovered that eggs are one of the richest natural sources of vitamin D, and this vitamin is absolutely critical for muscle strength and function. Low vitamin D, Barbara O'Neill warns, is directly linked to frailty, falls, and yes, sarcopenia. Think about this shocking statistic Barbara O'Neill shares: most people you know are vitamin D deficient. Now imagine how much stronger they'd feel if they simply included eggs regularly in their diet, according to Barbara O'Neill's protocol. But Barbara O'Neill's research revealed something even more powerful. When you combine the leucine in eggs with their natural vitamin D content, according to Barbara O'Neill, you create a synergistic effect that supercharges muscle protein synthesis. Here's how Barbara O'Neill explains it works: leucine acts like a switch that turns on muscle building, while vitamin D ensures your muscles have the strength to actually respond to that signal. Barbara O'Neill said, without adequate vitamin D, it's like having a car with a powerful engine but weak brakes, everything falls apart. But there's another component in eggs that Barbara O'Neill discovered is crucial for fighting sarcopenia. According to Barbara O'Neill, eggs provide not only protein but also key micronutrients like zinc and selenium, which are essential for recovery and repair. Barbara O'Neill found that when you work out, you create tiny tears in your muscle fibers. These fibers rebuild stronger when they have the right nutrients, and eggs provide the complete package. That's why athletes for decades have sworn by eggs as post-workout food, Barbara O'Neill notes. If they're good enough to help athletes recover from intense training, imagine what they can do to help you maintain strength as you age. Here's where Barbara O'Neill's discovery gets personal. Barbara O'Neill wants you to think about what you want to do later in life. Travel? Dance at weddings? Play with grandchildren? Live independently without relying on others? According to Barbara O'Neill, all of that depends on muscle. The more muscle you have now, the more reserve you build for later. Eggs won't do the work for you, Barbara O'Neill admits. You still need to move your body and challenge your muscles. But they are the fuel that makes the work count. But Barbara O'Neill discovered there's another factor that's just as important as protein for preventing muscle loss. Barbara O'Neill said something that will change how you see your future. You don't have to accept sarcopenia as your fate. You don't have to watch your strength slip away year after year. According to Barbara O'Neill, by making simple, smart choices like prioritizing eggs over trendy supplements, you can take complete control of your health and rewrite your aging story. Barbara O'Neill emphasizes, stronger muscles mean stronger bones, better balance, a faster metabolism, sharper thinking, and a dramatically higher quality of life. Here's Barbara O'Neill's practical protocol that anyone can follow. Barbara O'Neill recommends 2 to 3 eggs per day for most people, providing incredible benefits without any of the risks we were falsely taught to fear. Athletes and older adults fighting sarcopenia, Barbara O'Neill notes, may benefit from even more, as long as it fits their overall protein goals. And remember what Barbara O'Neill always says, the yolk is not your enemy. That's where the magic lives. According to Barbara O'Neill, if you're only eating egg whites, you're throwing away half the nutrition. She insists we must embrace the whole egg because nature designed it as a complete package. Barbara O'Neill's daily recommendations are simple. Scramble eggs with spinach in the morning. Make a veggie-packed omelette for lunch. Enjoy boiled eggs as a powerful snack. Add them to smoothies if you're adventurous. It's not complicated. It's not expensive. It's not some overhyped trend, Barbara O'Neill explains. It's a timeless, proven food that's been fueling human strength for thousands of years. But here's what Barbara O'Neill discovered that most people completely overlook. According to Barbara O'Neill, muscle building isn't just about protein. There's another fundamental factor that, if ignored, will sabotage all your efforts to stay strong. Barbara O'Neill found that even people eating perfect diets and exercising regularly were still losing muscle because they were missing this one crucial element. Without this, Barbara O'Neill warns, your muscles simply cannot perform at their best, no matter what else you do right. Stay tuned, because Barbara O'Neill's next discovery might be the missing piece you've been searching for. Here's what Barbara O'Neill discovered that shocked even seasoned health experts. While most people focus on protein and exercise for muscle building, Barbara O'Neill found that there's a hidden factor that can make or break your results. Something so basic that without it, your muscles simply cannot function properly. Barbara O'Neill discovered the critical importance of proper hydration and electrolyte balance for preventing sarcopenia. This goes way deeper than just drinking water, Barbara O'Neill explains. We're talking about fueling the very chemistry that makes your muscles contract, recover, and grow. Here's the startling fact Barbara O'Neill revealed, your muscles are 75% water. Every time you lift something, climb stairs, or even get out of a chair, according to Barbara O'Neill, the water inside your muscle fibers is powering that movement. Barbara O'Neill discovered that water isn't passive, it's the medium where all electrical signals, chemical reactions, and nutrient transfers happen. If you're even slightly dehydrated, Barbara O'Neill warns, your muscle cells lose volume, they can't contract effectively, and your strength drops dramatically. Barbara O'Neill's research shows that even a 1 to 2% decrease in hydration leads to noticeable losses in endurance, strength, and coordination. But here's where Barbara O'Neill's discovery gets revolutionary. Barbara O'Neill found that water alone isn't enough. You need proper electrolyte balance: sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, and chloride. According to Barbara O'Neill, these minerals carry electrical charges and act like sparks that ignite muscle contractions. Barbara O'Neill explains it this way: every time you move, your brain sends a signal through nerves to muscle fibers. That signal works through the movement of electrolytes across cell membranes. Here's what Barbara O'Neill discovered about older adults. As people age, Barbara O'Neill found they face a perfect storm: weakened thirst sensation, medications that deplete electrolytes, and chronic dehydration that accelerates muscle decline. Barbara O'Neill's protocol addresses this directly. Steady water intake throughout the day, not chugging large amounts. Foods rich in potassium: bananas, avocados, sweet potatoes. Magnesium from leafy greens and nuts. Balanced sodium intake to support performance. Natural electrolyte sources over synthetic supplements. When your muscles are properly hydrated, Barbara O'Neill discovered, protein synthesis works more effectively. The protein you eat actually gets used for building muscle instead of just being burned for energy. Barbara O'Neill found that dehydration signals cellular stress, causing the body to break down muscle protein faster, exactly what you don't want when fighting sarcopenia. But there's one more piece to Barbara O'Neill's anti-sarcopenia protocol. Here's Barbara O'Neill's final piece of the muscle preservation puzzle that ties everything together. Barbara O'Neill discovered that inflammation is the silent destroyer of muscle tissue, and most people are unknowingly feeding this destruction every single day. Your muscles are constantly being broken down and rebuilt, Barbara O'Neill explains. But when inflammation becomes chronic, it interferes with recovery and accelerates muscle breakdown. According to Barbara O'Neill, this is where anti-inflammatory foods become your most powerful weapon against sarcopenia. Barbara describes it perfectly. Imagine trying to build a house while there's a fire burning in the background. Instead of focusing on construction, you're wasting energy fighting flames. Fatty fish, Barbara's one recommendation. She discovered that salmon, mackerel, and sardines contain omega-3 fatty acids that naturally fight inflammation. Omega-3s improve cell membrane fluidity, Barbara O'Neill explains, making muscles more responsive to nutrients and better at protein synthesis. Berries, Barbara's recovery boosters. According to her, blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries pack powerful antioxidants that neutralize free radicals. Barbara O'Neill found that people consuming berries regularly experience less exercise-induced muscle damage and recover faster. Leafy greens, Barbara's magnesium source. She emphasizes that spinach, kale, and Swiss chard provide magnesium and phytonutrients that fight inflammation at the cellular level. Low magnesium equals higher inflammation and weaker performance, Barbara O'Neill warns. Turmeric, Barbara's golden secret. She discovered that curcumin in turmeric blocks inflammatory pathways. It turns down the volume on your body's inflammatory response, she explains. Barbara O'Neill recommends pairing turmeric with black pepper to increase absorption dramatically. Nuts and seeds, Barbara's portable power. According to Barbara O'Neill, almonds, walnuts, and chia seeds provide healthy fats, magnesium, and antioxidants. Think of them as tiny packages of muscle-protecting nutrients, Barbara O'Neill says. Olive oil, Barbara's inflammation fighter. She found that extra virgin olive oil contains oleocanthal, which acts similarly to ibuprofen in reducing inflammation but without side effects. This is why the Mediterranean diet supports stronger muscles and longer life, Barbara O'Neill notes. According to Barbara O'Neill, fighting muscle loss requires stacking multiple strategies. 1. Eggs as your protein foundation, providing complete amino acids and vitamin D. 2. Hydration and electrolyte balance, ensuring muscles can contract and recover. 3. Anti-inflammatory foods, creating an environment where muscles can thrive. 4. Consistent resistance training, the stimulus that forces muscle growth. Barbara O'Neill emphasizes, it's not about one magic food, but creating a lifestyle where anti-inflammatory foods are your foundation. Aging doesn't have to mean decline, Barbara O'Neill declares. It can mean getting wiser, stronger, and healthier if you give your body what it truly needs. According to Barbara O'Neill, when you combine eggs with proper hydration and anti-inflammatory foods, you create an unstoppable force against sarcopenia. Barbara O'Neill's closing wisdom: forget the fads, forget the hype. Remember this, muscle is life, and you now have the tools to protect it. Thank you so much for staying with me through this exploration. If you found value in today's discussion, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share this video with someone who might benefit from it.